You're welcome back to the Gavel. Now, during the week, we saw a controversial court judgment delivered over the matter of defection of some members of the House of Representatives from the PDP to the APC. In what seems to be a twist in the ongoing saga in the House of Representatives, the court on Monday granted a perpetual injunction restraining the defecting lawmakers from effecting any leadership change in the lower house. Let's see how the APC lawmakers took the court verdict.
The week in the House of Representatives began with reactions to the court judgment delivered over the matter of defection of some members of the House from the ruling People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. The All Progressive Congress caucus in the House of Representatives spoke to journalists saying that none of their 37 members that defected from the ruling party shall vacate their seats nor cease to take part in major decisions in the House, as partly ruled in the judgment by a federal high court in Abuja. Minority Whip of the House told journalists that Justice Adeniyi Ademola, who delivered the judgment, was merely expressing an opinion over a matter that was not before him and in effect meddling with the internal affairs of the House. He, however, said the concerned lawmakers have appealed the judgment.
A section of the media, and indeed the public, have been misled by the court ruling into believing that the said judgment had effectively terminated the tenure of office of the affected members. This is not only untrue, but also a mere obiter dicta expressed by a judge who veered off the course of the case before him in order to do the bidding of the ruling party. The import of yesterday's ruling was that our 37 members cannot participate in the removal of principal officers of the House. Nothing more, nothing less. Every other pronouncement by the judge as to the status of our 37 members of the House were mere opinion. In any event, this judgment was given in vain and in ignorance of the House rules, which governs the appointment of party leaders in the Parliament. It is also an attempt by the court to meddle in the internal affairs of the Parliament. This certainly is not the import of the doctrine of judicial review in administrative law. As we speak, our colleagues have appealed against this vexatious ruling, and we have the notice of our appeal before us this afternoon. It has been served on the House and is before the Court of Appeal as we speak.
The House of Representatives also took a stand on the matter during an executive session. The Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Media said the decision of the House is that no action shall be taken on the matter until all cases in court over the defection run their full course. He said the lawmakers are not in a hurry to act and the Speaker of the House is not under any pressure to declare the seats of any of its members vacant.
One of the decisions arising from our interactions is to allow the different cases in court regarding defection of some members to run their full course. And in arriving at that decision, the House took cognizance of the fact that precedents had been set even before last Friday and last Monday's rulings. If you recall, a certain member had defected from the Labour Party in Ondo State to the then ACN. That matter is still in court, and that member is still participating in the affairs of the House. There are some other instances that fall in that category. But more importantly, we also decided to insulate the House from the growing tendency of partisanship that is beginning to arise on the floor of the House.
All eyes will now be on the House of Representatives to see what step it will take next on this issue.
We sat down with two federal lawmakers in the House of Representatives, Representative Kingsley Chinda and Representative Ali Ahmed, who are on both sides of a divide to get your views on the court judgment and ongoing defection saga.
The members of the ruling party are saying that you are misinterpreting the judgment of Justice Ademola, which actually simply indicates that your seats ought to be declared vacant. What's your take on that?
I mean, that's very far from the truth. I have the enroll order, which I will give to you, and so it doesn't become he says, she says. I'll give the order to you, and the order has 3 orders. Do not change leadership, I issue perpetual injunction, and do not do it. That's it. There's nothing about seat change or so. And you see the order, the enrollment order, has the operative part of a judgment. I mean, they're just playing on people's intelligence, because you have a lot of correspondents that are not lawyers. You don't have to be. But you see, the truth of the matter is, it's not a 100-page judgment that contains order. A court has what we call a binding effect. That is, court will order you. That's why courts are different from arbitration and conciliation. Arbitration and conciliation will advise you, go and settle, go and do this, but a court will order you. But before it orders, it will give you the reason why it's giving you the order. So at the end, I now order you to do A, B, C. So all those 90 pages, they are not orders. They are just reasons on reaching the order. So the enrollment order now contains what the court is forcing you, willingly or unwillingly. And those things are just 3. That you want to change leadership, no. Number 2, these 37 people, you cannot participate in any vote or motion towards changing leadership. And 3, I now give perpetual injunction or order against the whole house from even changing leadership. Those are the orders. Those are the 3 orders. It's another thing whether those orders are even competent or good. That's another thing. But to now say that the order contains or can be interpreted or expanded to mean that members should not sit. You'll see the order yourself and you can flash it to your viewers.
Your injunction to refrain the House leadership from declaring your seats vacant was, would I say, thrown out of court, so to speak. And does that not create a leeway for exactly what you feared to happen?
What was the judgment of last week, A.R. Mohammed? I'll tell you. We went to court. Yes. We went to court because we had this fear that PDP might want to play some smart games, and our fears were not unfounded, because on our court papers, we attached newspaper threats that PDP, Bamanga Tukur, everybody is saying declare their seat vacant, or we will declare your seat vacant. And being law-abiding citizens, we now went to court that, look, who has the right to declare somebody's seat vacant? And in any way, do we have right to defect? Those are the questions we were asking the court. And we were saying, look, the Honorable Judge, is there, that was the first question we asked the court to determine, because up till now, there is no single court in Nigeria that has answered that question. Is there a division in PDP? I read Judgment of Justice Chukwu, about 70 pages. And brilliant judgment. He says, look, Alhaji Baraje, I do not recognize you as the authentic chairman of PDP. And I bar you from parading yourself as the authentic chairman of PDP. I recognize Bamanga Tukur faction of PDP. Do you hear me? Bamanga Tukur faction. That Justice Chukwu's judgment in itself is an evidence that there is faction. You see, when there is faction, the 2 factions need not be recognized. If there is a whole ball and you divide one, and the other one, the footballers can play with it, this half one, it cannot be played. It doesn't mean that that ball is still a whole. There is a division.
I understand that there is no resolution presently before the House over this matter of defection from one party to the other. Does it not appear as if the House is shying away from taking a stand?
You see, what can happen is for somebody to bring a motion and say that, look, is there or is there not a judgment? You see, Nigeria wants things to happen, but I don't know what their interest is. The only reason the House will debate a matter is when it becomes ripe, just like the court. Now, if you want, because if you say there should be a resolution for members to get out, you must believe that there is a judgment. But we are saying there is no judgment in the first place. But if you believe that defecting, whether there is division or no division, once you defect, you should lose your seat. Then I will tell you, under what law? You see, Nigeria is a country governed by law and constitution. So I know a lot of people out there want us out. But I would say, excuse me, we don't operate in a kingdom. We operate in a constitutional democracy. So tell me which section asks me to get out when I defect. And I will say, oh, I'm sorry, there's none. It's a wishful thinking. People think once you defect, you can go out. And I say, oh, I'm sorry, if there is a division, I cannot go out. And until you get a court order saying that I'm wrong, you're not. And they say, Justice Ademola has ruled, and I say, no, this is the rule order. It doesn't contain a full stop.
But why does it look as if the House is deciding to stay silent on this matter of defection? Especially, it appears that it's taking a stand to not decide over any issues relating to the matter of defection until all the cases in courts have run their full course.
That is not the position of the House. There is no resolution to that effect. I've read the papers this morning, and I have seen that is the resolution of the House. We take a position by resolution. Okay. There is no resolution before us. Clearly, you know that when you have this kind of situation, discussions will be going on. Yes. No doubt we have fraternized. There is some bonding between the members that have been here. Discussions are on. We also need to consult amongst ourselves. So the resolution we reach in the executive session we had, which has been widely reported in the papers, is that, yes, look, the way things are, we understand that ordinarily these members ought to vacate their seats. But let's look at it a second time. And we also said, well, we'll go back to our caucus meeting and discuss the issues, and then we'll come back and take a final decision on the way forward. But what we want to ensure is that whatever decision we take will be one that will in no way alter the peace that we enjoy in this country, taking cognizance of the fact that we represent Nigerians and we ought to protect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House cannot take such a decision to keep silent on a constitutional issue. We will not.
Why does it seem as if there is a fear by the ruling party that the defected lawmakers are going to affect or make any prominent change in leadership?
I wouldn't call it a fear, stricto sensu. It's just that we are here to make laws, and we're on oath to ensure compliance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Section 68 has clearly provided on how a member who intends to defect or cross-carpet ought to do that. And I think the only problem we're having today is on the proper interpretation of that section of the Constitution, or the pretense that we appear not to understand the clear provisions of the Constitution. So it's not a matter of fear, it's just that some persons are saying we have to comply with the Constitution, while others are saying, well, it's not applicable.